They found him dead at 47, not from disease, not from an accident. The autopsy said heart failure. But his closest friends knew the truth. He was killed slowly, quietly, over 20 years, by the people he refused to stop loving. His family said he always looked tired. His coworkers said he never laughed anymore. And at his funeral, the very people who had drained every last drop of joy from his soul stood in the front row, crying the loudest, performing grief for a man they had spent decades destroying. That story is not fiction. Some version of it is happening right now. Maybe to someone you know. Maybe to you. We talk about happiness like it is something we need to find. We read books about it. We attend seminars. We download meditation apps and journal every morning and repeat affirmations in the mirror. And yet, millions of people do all of that and still go to bed every night feeling empty, exhausted, and quietly hopeless. Why? Because nobody told them the truth. You cannot build happiness in a house full of poison. You can paint the walls any color you want. You can bring in flowers and light candles and play soft music. But if there is a gas leak in the foundation, everything you build will eventually collapse. Toxic people are that gas leak, and until you fix it, until you remove what is killing you from the inside, no amount of self-help will save you. This is not a comfortable conversation. It never is. Because the most dangerous toxic people in your life are not strangers. They are not enemies you can easily identify and avoid. The most dangerous ones are the people you love. The parent who never once said, "I am proud of you," but had 1,000 criticisms ready before you finished your first sentence. The friend you have known for 15 years who every single time you share good news finds a way to dim your light, who responds to your excitement with doubt, with a but, with a subtle reminder of every time you failed before. The partner who makes you feel small in 100 tiny ways that you can never quite explain to anyone else, because each individual moment seems so insignificant, but the accumulation of it has hollowed you out completely. Psychologists call it chronic low-grade stress. The body does not distinguish between a lion chasing you through a jungle and a person who makes you feel worthless every single day. In both cases, your nervous system floods with cortisol. Your heart works harder. Your immune system weakens. Your sleep deteriorates. Your capacity for joy quietly shrinks. Science has confirmed what our souls have always known. The wrong relationships do not just make you unhappy. They make you sick. A 2012 study published in the journal PLOS 1 found that people in negative close relationships had significantly higher rates of coronary heart disease than those with positive social connections. Another study from University College London showed that social stress accelerates biological aging at the cellular level. The people around you are literally either adding years to your life or stealing them. Let that land. Now here is where it gets complicated, because every single one of us has been conditioned since childhood to tolerate toxicity from the people we are supposed to love. We were taught that family is everything. We were taught that loyalty means staying no matter what. We were taught that walking away is the coward's choice, that real love means enduring, that if you leave someone who is hurting you, there is something wrong with you asterisk. Your patience, your compassion, your commitment. These teachings sound noble. They are not. They are the chains that keep good people imprisoned in relationships that are destroying them, while the world applauds their suffering and calls it virtue. Let me ask you something honestly. Think about the people in your life right now. Think about the ones you spend the most time with, and ask yourself, after you spend time with them, do you feel more alive or less? Do you walk away from conversations feeling energized, inspired, seen, understood? Or do you walk away feeling drained, deflated, confused, somehow guilty for things you cannot quite name? Do you feel free to be yourself around them? Or do you spend energy managing their reactions, editing your words, shrinking your dreams so they do not feel threatened? Do they celebrate your wins? Or do they compete with them? Do they comfort you in your pain? Or do they use your vulnerabilities against you later? These questions are not academic. The answers will tell you everything you need to know about whether the relationships in your life are feeding you or consuming you. The most insidious thing about toxic relationships is the way they normalize themselves over time. You adapt. That is what human beings do. We are extraordinary adapters. You stop noticing how small you have become because the shrinking happened so gradually. You forget what it felt like to be excited about your own future because that excitement was mocked so many times that your mind learned to suppress it before it even surfaced. You forget what it felt like to feel safe with another person because safety was so consistently violated that you stopped expecting it. And perhaps most devastating of all, you begin to believe that this is just what relationships are, that this is normal, that everyone carries this weight, that the people who seem genuinely happy around their loved ones are either lying or lucky. And you are just neither. You are not neither. You are someone who has been breathing poisoned air for so long that you forgot what clean air feels like. Here is what removing toxic people from your life actually looks like. Because the movies and the motivational posts make it seem like a single dramatic moment, a confrontation, a speech, a door slammed shut, and sometimes it is that, but more often it is quieter. It is deciding not to answer a phone call and sitting with the guilt until it passes. It is reducing how much of yourself you share with someone who has proven they will not protect what you give them. It is choosing not to go to the family gathering where you know you will leave feeling like a failure. It is having an honest, uncomfortable conversation with someone you love and being willing to accept that they might not respond well. It is building distance slowly with intention because you finally decided that your peace matters. And the guilt, let's talk about the guilt because it is real and it will come for you when you begin to pull away from people who have been in your life for years. Your mind will generate 100 reasons. Some of you are right now thinking about someone specific. You know exactly who came to mind when you started reading this. Maybe you have thought about this person 100 times. Maybe you have had versions of this realization before, and then talked yourself out of acting on it. Maybe you told yourself it will get better, that they will change, that you just need to communicate more clearly, love more generously, be more patient. Maybe those things are true. People do change, relationships do improve. And if genuine change is happening, if the person in your life is doing the work, showing accountability, growing, then patience is wisdom. But if change has been promised and never delivered, if the same cycles keep repeating, with only the apologies changing, if you have given this relationship every good thing you have, and it keeps taking more, then continuing to wait is not patience. It is self-abandonment. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. That is not love. That is martyrdom. And the tragedy of martyrdom is that nobody wins. Not you, not them, not the relationship, because a person who is being slowly destroyed cannot love anyone fully. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be genuinely present for the people who need you when the toxic ones have already taken everything. The most loving thing you can sometimes do for yourself, and paradoxically, even for the other person, is to remove yourself from the dynamic, because your absence might be the only thing that finally makes the consequences of their behavior real, and your presence, unconditional and unprotected, was enabling the very patterns you were hoping would stop. This is not about hatred. This is not about revenge or punishment or deciding that someone is a fundamentally bad person. Most toxic people are not villains. They are wounded people who learned unhealthy ways of moving through the world, who found in you someone generous enough to absorb the fallout of their wounds. They deserve compassion from a distance. You can genuinely wish someone well and still choose not to allow them into the intimate space of your life. These two things are not contradictions. You can love someone and not choose them for your inner circle. You can forgive someone completely and still maintain firm boundaries. Forgiveness is for your freedom. Proximity is a choice. There is a version of your life that is waiting for you, a version where you wake up without dread, where your phone ringing does not cause a spike of anxiety, where you can share your dreams without bracing for them to be dismantled, where you can make a mistake without it being used as permanent evidence of your unworthiness, where the people closest to you actually know you, the real you, the unedited version, and they choose you anyway, not despite who you are, but because of it. That version of your life is not a fantasy. It is what human beings are designed for. Connection that heals rather than harms. Belonging that does not cost you yourself. Relationships where love is not a weapon, where loyalty is not a trap, where closeness does not come with conditions that are constantly shifting to ensure you can never quite meet them. You deserve that. Not eventually, not once you have suffered enough to earn it, not once you have fixed everything broken inside you. Now you deserve it now. And the path toward it begins with the hardest, most necessary, most loving choice you will ever make for yourself. To stop letting people who diminish you take up space in the life you are trying to build. Remove the poison. Let the healing begin. Choose yourself, not because the people who hurt you did not matter, but because you do.